Today's story. What's today's story? This is good. Okay. Nemesis is a very beautiful part of this book here. Rabbi is talking about the Chaim Zimmerman anyway, and how his relationship with the Rebbe. This is a whole book within a book, and who was the Chaim Zimmerman. But within that, Rabbi tells the following story. So you all heard of Chaim Brisker, Soloveitchik, the greatest Goinim of the last generations. Brisk. So this was one of the meetings in St. Petersburg. The government called all the Rabbanim together, and this was a very, very challenging time. The government was trying to take control of Jewish life, particularly Jewish education. And the sad thing was that this was all instigated by Jews, by the Enlightenment, the leaders of the Enlightenment that wanted to enlighten Jews and take them out of the Dark Ages and bring them into modernity and science and so on. And this all spawned in the end communism. So there were these meetings that were taking place between all the rabbis of Russia and the government, the Russian government. And at one point, it doesn't say what this was, but it has to do with chinuch. The government, or just controlling Jewish life in general. I mean, things went so far that there were government-appointed rabbanim. Government-appointed that they were the official rabbis that kept the registries, etc. An attempt to take control of Jewish life completely. So the government was proposing a certain edict, demanding, and the government said, listen, if the rabbis will not acquiesce, these are the rabbis the length and breadth of Russia, there'll be pogroms throughout the entire Russia. Pogroms are often instigated by the government for various political reasons, a distraction from their woes, etc., scapegoat, all kinds of good reasons. The Jew was the fall guy. Hear what he's saying? And the Rebbe Rashab, who was very respected among these photographs of these big meetings, are famous. There are many of them. These conventions. The Rebbe Rashab, no, I'm not giving in. So Chaim Brisker said to him, the Bavitch Rebbe, what are you relying on that you're stubbornly resisting, and we're saying we're not going along with this edict? It's a sakana. They're threatening pogroms. The Rebbe Rashab says, this is what we're learning the Maimer. That's how it comes out by me. So Rabbi Chaim Brisker, I mean, we're talking about the greatest Gaon of the previous generation, one of the greatest in the previous. He says, Lubavitcher Rebbe, auf dem stellt sich. For this, because that's, you can't give me an answer. You're not explaining your position. All you're saying is, that's how it comes out by me. And for this, you're holding fast, and the consequences staring us in the face? Really? Said the Rebbe Rashab, yeah. When Reb Chaim heard this, if so, I'm supporting you. And Reb Chaim Brisker was the leader of the Litvish world. He supports, everybody went along, and they did not agree. The pogroms did not follow. Now, Rabbi Yos will bring out the greatness of Rabbi Chaim Brisker, that if the Rabbi Rashab would have given a reason, he would have a counter reason. The Rabbi Rashab didn't give a reason because he didn't even have one. He just knew this is wrong. This is not for Yidden. Not by Gashmis, not by Ruchnias. And Rabbi Yos bring out Rabbi Chaim Brisker's, notwithstanding the Litvish Gaon, recognized by the Rebbe Rashab, not just that he was also a great Gaon and a tzaddik, but he's plugged into a place where that's it. And there's no justification. This is what we're talking about here, in the Maimer. Now, Rabbi Yoel adds Rabbi Yosef said like this is Rabbi Yosef's goodness. Rabbi Yosef says, by the way, this is records of his Shabbos meals and Fabrengens the Bachim wrote up very beautifully. So Rabbi Yosef says, Derech Hagavah says, I was thinking Rabbi Chaim Brisker was a Ish Halacha. He was a person that was governed by halacha. Here, the Rebbe Rashab is just saying, as I come to his Bamir, this is how it comes out, and he's following and backing it, and the consequences, Chachman Litzlan, are, you need halachic basics for this. So Rabbi Yosef says, I thought that maybe the halacha that expresses this is halacha of a sick person in Yom Kippur. The halacha is, even if doctors tell him, you can fast. Doctors, experts. And he says he has to eat. The halacha is you give him to eat until he says, I'm okay. So Rabbi Yehuda says, but who knows better? Who knows better? The doctor or the doctors understand better what the consequence of what's going to happen if you don't eat. And they're saying you could fast. Yet the halacha says no. Because it's a lashon in the pasuk, leiv yidei amaris nafshay. The end of the day, the heart feels the true bitterness of its own. The self really feels the bitterness of its own situation, its own matzav. And even therefore better than the doctors who are approaching this academically, intellectually. Reb Chaim recognizes that the Rebbe Rashab is a Yid whose heart is bound up with Klal Yisrael in such a deep way that even if all of the arguments would say, compromise on this because he knows that's deeper. It's the halacha that brings out this inyan, and Reb Chaim recognized that and said, Lubavitch Rebbe, if so, I'm with you. And that's what happened. Beautiful story, very deep story, huh? Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
See why it's the mind we're learning. This is being plugged into Atzmos, the inyan that says, it's beyond. Azay das, azay nicht anders.
Beyond words.
Beyond words. Yeah.